Hello, everyone. Welcome to Find Ways to Win. I am your host, Fitzgerald Stephens. I hope you had a very good day. I hope everything went your way. If it didn't, you know what you need to do to change it. But start with your attitude and start with looking for ways to pull out and to get to your goals of where you just find a way to win. That is the whole purpose, of what we're trying to do, inspire you guys to do. So, well, I want to talk about something that came to me in epiphany. I had a very good day today, extraordinary good day. And the title of this stream is called "The Power of a Friend." The power of a friend. So just give a little background information. I have a friend, and I've had the luxury of knowing this man literally since we were 5 or 6 years old. His name is Kenny Bell. Okay, and when I used to live in a little village called Malvern, Ohio. Kenny and I were inseparable. I would go to his house and stay over there, and I did it so much. My parents really didn't even think nothing about it. And his mom and dad really didn't think nothing about me showing up there neither. We were extraordinary close, we just shared everything from bike riding to rafting. I literally remember a time when we got some rubber rafts. And check this out now. We were somewhere along the line of, about 7, 8 years old, and we we went down a little creek in Malvern, Ohio. We bought 2 yellow rafts. My middle brother, was in the smaller raft, and Kenny and I was pulling him with a tow line on the larger raft, and to make anchors, we had milk jugs filled with rocks. I mean, if my parents or his parents would have found out, they would have really been upset with us, and some serious punishment would have came from that. Rightfully so. We did hiking. We just spent time together because I didn't really have anyone, a friend, and he didn't really have any neither. So we just bonded like that. Okay, and so we moved away, and I moved away about when I was about like I guess 10 years old, and but just went to another city and stuff like that. And it changed both of us. Kenny later on confided in me. He said, I really changed when you left, and I certainly knew that I was changed as a result of losing that relationship and that camaraderie with him. And so I was one of those fortunate individuals that I found a great friend early in life. I'm not exaggerating. We've been knowing each other since we was 5 and 6 years old, and both of us are in our mid-50s right now. And so and it was 40 years. 40 years I have not seen this man. 40 years until today. He was in Florida. I live in the Tampa area, and we decided we're going to meet down in St. Petersburg just to get a bite to eat, in between his business and my business. And I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, when he got out of his vehicle, it was like we left each other 6 minutes ago. I mean, we picked up on a conversation just like we always have. It's like nothing had changed. 40 years. And we could still pick up and finish each other's conversation and everything. So we while we were sitting there and talking and trying to catch up, man, what's been going on, what's been happening. Well, found out a couple of things, how we have shared a similar experience. For example, he stayed up in Ohio, and he graduated from Ohio State University. I moved to Alabama and graduated from the University of Alabama. We're both salespeople, entrepreneurs. And we were talking about sales. He said, yeah, man, sales is the most honorable position it is. I said, yeah, I agree. Well, we chose that path. We're both avid readers, and we're both historians. We could talk about a matrix of subject. We like a lot of the same foods. It was like we never left. And talking about, we can both, pick up on what was going on with each other, and and feel able to confide in each other, because we were sitting around, we was 2 brothers that were sitting there together who trusted one another. And so that got me to thinking, what, how would my life be different if I didn't really have a friend? And I have a couple of them, and I don't give my friendship away easily. I have many more acquaintances and associations, but to call someone a true friend, man, that's very valuable. Not something that you should really take lightly. Nor is that something you should really let just anyone in that spirit, because associations shape your life, ladies and gentlemen. Association shape your life. You have got to have positive associations in your life in order for you to receive positive results. But one of the first things that I realized, and it was drilled in me, I guess, by either pastors or my parents or teachers through elementary to high school to even college. You be careful of your associations. Be very careful of your associations, for they will shape you. And people with their viewpoints and their ideologies and how they look at things, whether good or bad or positive, negatives, it will affect you. No, we're not a vacuum unto ourselves, and God made us for camaraderie. He made us for relationship. But when we choose to join ourselves to someone, we choose to call someone a friend. And we choose to say, hey, you inadvertently are going to have an influence on me, whether you know it or not, or whether I know it or not. Fortunately, with this man, he had a very positive influence on me. I had a positive influence on him. We just simply decided, that we were brothers, that we were going to talk to each other in the truth. We were going to hold each other accountable. We were going to celebrate the wins and the victories that each of us had, and we're gonna push forward to make the other better men. I mean, and we don't take that lightly. I mean, the look on his face and look on my face, when we seen each other 40 years, and so we last laid eyes on him. But yet we was able to talk once we hugged and embraced and smiled at each other. It was like we left 6 minutes ago. 6 minutes, not 40 minutes ago. It was like we left 6 minutes ago, and picked that right up. So let's talk about a couple of attributes of a friend, because a lot of us kind of get that kind of wrong. I hear a lot of things like, that's my very good friend, or I got 20 or 100 of my best friends coming around. Man, there's no such thing. There is no such thing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're able to call 3 people in your life a true friend, you are extraordinarily blessed. I mean, a true friend. And let's go ahead and define that. What is a true friend? What are the qualities of a friend? Someone who accepts you who you are, but they want you to get better. Someone who doesn't lie to you and hold you accountable. Someone you could tell your fears to. And the most important to, someone you could tell your dream to, and someone who will not betray your trust, your confidence. They won't do it. They're not the gossip brother. There's a saying that your friend is not necessarily my friend. So, other words, if I confide in you with something, or you confide into a friend with something, information, you don't expect that friend without your permission to go share it with someone else. You're talking to your friend. You're not talking to their friend's friends. So very important that you understand that friends have to be proven consistently. 40 years of friendship. This man and I never had an argument. We've had disagreement, and our disagreement is so minuscule I can't even remember them. We always celebrated each other's victory. We always were proud for going for the other person achieving a goal or success. Always proud of that. Kept in touch and lost touch until recently, when I had a relative of mine, first cousin of mine, actually was Facebook friends with him because I didn't know where he was. So thank God for Facebook. I believe Facebook is a connecting tool. I don't think you go out there and take a picture of spaghetti and post it and say, look how big, look how big the meatballs on this plate. I think that's foolishness, but that's my opinion. But I do think it's a very, very good tool to connect people. Positive reinforcements of relationships, and so that's the number one things I do with it is connecting. It is a very important business tool to me. First, what I do is professional networking. I make my income by talking to other people, and I make my income through Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so I have to make connections. I have to get out there and talk to people, talk about what I do, and talk about partnership with people and things like that. But a lot of ways that I deal with people is the things of the values that Kenny and I practice. We lead with a smile. We take sincere interest in people, and I just start translating that over into other relationships to what I do, how I deal with people. But that doesn't necessarily make you a friend of mine. And that doesn't necessarily make you a friend of yours. It does necessarily make it that you have to have good manners and you have to take a sincere interest of people before you start promoting any of your service, your products, before you start valuing yourself and that you want to get into their organization, or you want to become a part of their network, or you want them to do business with them. They have to like you first. I talked about that last night on the stream, The Fortune is the Follow-Up, and I apologize to people because I understand the volume was off on that, and maybe I'll just go ahead and remake that. But a lot of those concepts I went over talking about the power of follow-up can actually parallel what I'm saying right here. Okay, a friend. I think the most important thing I believe with a friend, they don't betray your trust. They don't betray your trust. I was sitting there talking to Kenny, and we both had some relationship failures, and we was talking about that, and I understood where he was coming from, and he understood where I was coming from, but still right after we was talking, still, hey man, brother, if you ever need to talk, if you ever need it, don't shut me out, because I know how you are. You're going to try to process everything yourself, and you're going to look back on, just go ahead and give me a call. If anything you need to talk about, not necessarily relationships, anything. He is the vice president of insurance company. So he's president of insurance company. And so when he was down here in Florida, not only seeing friends and family, mainly myself and his family down here, but he was also doing business, his open enrollment, and he was on this grind, and I really respect that. I was on my grind, but still we took time out to go see each other and things. And we took time to pick up where you left off. You see, life is going to go by. Life will pass you by. There's always enough time in the day if you allocate it. You have to tell time what to do. Or I assure you, time is going to tell you what to do. I've heard that statement, people, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I don't have this. Really? You have the same amount of time as Elon Musk. You have the same amount of time as Oprah Winfrey. You have the same amount of time as President Donald John Trump. You have the same amount of time as President-elect Joe Biden. You have the same amount of time that Julius Caesar had. You have the same amount of time that Shaka Zulu had. You have the same amount of time that Leonardo da Vinci had, Martin Luther King had, Malcolm X had, John Fitzgerald Kennedy have. It's not that you don't have time. What are you doing with it? What are you doing with your time? Who are you spending your time with? What are you spending your time on? You know what? If you don't have a friend, you could easily drift off course with that. You could, if you have a friend that is a time waster, and yes, you can have friends like that. You choose your friends. You choose your friends, or in that rare case, sometimes they choose you, or you choose each other. But you have it. You have the luxury of getting someone who can push you, because no man is an island. Every human being in this world needs friendship. At least one person you can call friend. You have got to happen. You have got to have it rather. No one is a maverick. The maverick, that's nice when they in Hollywood. That's nice on in music videos and stuff. We're not mavericks. God made us for relationships. But there are people who are in the CEO suite right now because of a friend. And there are people who are on death row right now because of a friend. The way they defined a friend. Well, you said, Fitzgerald, if that person led them down the wrong path, is not really a friend. To you, it's not really a friend. To the person who offered them their friendship, they are very much of a friend. Okay. And so we have to understand that friends have influence on us. Friends have influence, and we cannot dare not take that lightly. Fortunately for me, with having this man in my life, for us being children to us being very, very grown men, he is still the same Kenny Bell that I grew up with, that I loved, that gave my friendship, that I never heard of one thing that I told that man in confidence, all the way back from then until now. It's come back, and he could say the same thing about me. We didn't lie to each other. We don't lie to each other now. We call it what like we see it, but we call it like we see it in a respectful manner, in a motivating manner. We can give each other reading materials. We can help each other with their business. We may not do the same business. I'm a networker. Kenny would say he's a networker too, but we do similar interests. I deal with making my money in Bitcoin. He deals with making his money in insurance. But it also happened that I did choose the path of being an insurance agent a couple of years ago, so I know about that field a little bit. The interest that we have is absolutely incredible, and so I left there inspired. I left there like, wow, man, you know what? I need to talk to my audience and talk to the people about a friend, because so many people don't have one, but you think you do. You don't have one, but you think you do. Well, Fitzgerald, what are you just saying? Yeah, I thought you said that if they believe they have a friend, that's a friend to them. But let's talk about the effects of a friend. Let's talk about that. Does that friend help you get to your goals? Does that friend push you or hold you back? Does that friend hold you accountable? Is that friend afraid to tell you the truth because they're going to think they're going to lose the friendship? Is that friend vulnerable to you? Does that friend defend you when you're not there? Certain attributes you have to look for, and when we were children, we was 5. That was cool. 5 and 6, those things were cool. We didn't understand the value of time. In our mid-50s, I assure you, we still understand the value of time. We both know how fast it can go. We both know that time is going to happen to you, or you happen to time, but it's going to go by. We both know that we don't have all the answers. We need to seek out close relationships that we really can build upon and build them up and help them help us build us up. We need to talk about putting mastermind groups together, and that could be another video, but just to touch a little bit on that, you have a certain amount, you have a certain group of people who help you in certain areas. A friend can't be all things to you. No, you need just like you have doctors and attorneys who are specialists, so forth. You have friends who are specialists too. Okay, and as you get older, you understand that. If you're trying to build financial wealth, maybe you need a friend / mentor who is skilled in that. If you're trying to work on your mental and your physical health, Maybe you need a friend who is skilled in that area. If you're trying to work on relationships, being a marital or with your children, maybe you need to have a friend who is skilled in that area. Okay. So you can have different people for different things. But once again, they all have to have that attribute, those attributes that I was looking for, that I explained about. Number one, the key one is they don't betray your trust. They don't betray your trust. And with me and with Kenny, because we're wired the same, you have one time to do it. You have one time. And the relationship is totally different. I'm not talking about not forgiving. That's not the issue. Forgiveness is separate from trust. Never forget that. Forgiveness and trust are two separate deals. Okay. You have a very, very nice fine china, fine china plate, very, very expensive. Okay. Yeah. You break it out with special occasions, or but you value, take care of it. Okay. You decide to have a meal, plate slips out your hand, hits the tile floor, shatters in about 6 or 7 pieces. No problem. You take out super glue and tape. How do you feel with your food on that plate after you put it back together? It's not whole. It looks it. That's what trust is. Trust is gone. It can't be got back. Oh, you can say, well, I can deal with people. Yeah, but it's never the same. That's one of the key requisites of dealing with a friend, calling someone a friend. Can you say that? Who comes in your mind right now that you say, you know what, this person has never betrayed my trust. This person has never shown me any jealousy towards what I'm trying to do and trying to achieve. This person has been a cheerleader in my corner even when I wasn't. Who comes to your mind when you say that? The 100 people, or maybe about 1 or 2? Who comes into your mind? Who is coming into your mind right there? That's a friend. A friend has to be an exchange, ladies and gentlemen. I could think of 4 friends right now, 4 real friends that that I'm not going. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not going to say 4 real friends. Let me break this down. Let me put it on a spiritual aspect. The Lord Yeshua had 12 disciples. Okay, 12 disciples. We know from Bartholomew, Peter, James, John, Thomas, Matthew, Mark, Luke. 12. Okay, but he had 3 that he would often take with him: Peter, James, and John. 3 out of 12. But he had 1 that he would really share his heart with. That was John, the gentleman who wrote 1 John, 2 John, 3 John in the book of Revelation. That's the one they talk about. That's talked about. He laid his head upon Yeshua's breast. So we went down from 12, friends, to 3 close friend, to 1 a true friend. Catch that analogy. So I also have the 12, the 3, and the 1. Okay. Now, if I look at this, like, who would I call if I was in jail, or a dire situation? Who can I call at 3 o'clock in the morning that I know will come and get me? And I'm fortunate in this. I have more than one person I can call. Number 1, Preston Stevens, my middle brother. Number 2, Michael Anthony Stevens, my youngest brother. Number 3, James Carl Zigmund. And number 4, Kenny Bell. Without question. I could call those guys and say, hey, I need your help. and they're coming for me, and I'm coming from them. That's a friend. Not one of those persons how you have to say, hey, I don't mean to bother you. You don't have conversations that with a friend. Not one of those one like, God, I was really at a weak, vulnerable moment and I broke down. I hope they don't tell anybody. You don't have to have those conversations with a true friend, because they're going to try to bring healing to you. Or if they can't do it, they're going to try to refer you to someone who can do it. They are going to seek out a solution to what's ailing you, what's troubling you. You go in business, you know what? They may not join your particular business, but they're not going to tear you down because you're doing it. They're going to support you. They may have a total different interest for you, but they're going to support you in what you do. They will send you a referral. They will send you cars. They will send you whatever you need to do, and they will not let you quit on yourself. Friends are different from associates. An associate, you're like, man, I'm just having all kinds of tough trouble, and oh God, man, I just feel like giving up. Yeah, well, maybe you should. Maybe you should. That's associates talking. Especially if they know it's something that's something vital to you. A friend, hey, let's find a way to win. Man, Fitzgerald, you can do this. Kenny, you can do this, man. You don't came over bigger things than that. What am I talking about? They re-inject belief back into you and your dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, and Kenny knows some of the stories with the breakup of my parents' marriage, and man, his parents and him, they gave me such solitude. I was very confused. I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't understand a lot of things what was happening until I became a grown man, and unfortunately went through some similar situations of my own. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew that, I just didn't want to be home. And Kenny, gave me a place of peace. I will literally just stay over there school nights, weekends. He gave me a place of peace, and we would watch movies together, and just do all kinds of neat things like kids. He's the one who got me into electronics because his father used to own an electronics store called Malvern Electronics. And his father was a quiet man, but you know what? He just left me alone. His mother, Miss Sandy, and his father, Mr. Victor, they treated me like I was a son. They didn't see my skin color. They didn't care about that. They fed me, and I ate at the table. And my mom loved Kenny, and he loved her. And it was just like that type of community. A different time of day right now. And so that meant something to me. And I told him how very much I was appreciative of that today. I told my friend, a couple of times, man, I love you. And I said, you really need to hear me. I really love you. He told me the exact same thing back. And I felt that. You know what? And that right there was making me like, hey, you know what, man, it's not so bad after all. What's going on with 2020, you're actually a blessed man. And I was able to say the same thing to him. So if you are going to evaluate your life, and if you're going to look at your life, and you're going to move your life forward, be very careful who you choose, friends. As a matter of fact, I'm going to sit up here and say this: if the fact that now that you know a few qualifications of a friend and people who you are calling friends right now, you might be inclined to take away that friend card and demote them to associates or acquaintance. Do you know it's possible to be a friend to someone who considers you an associate? Do you know it's possible, to be a friend to someone, but they're not a friend to you? And you don't even know it? I'll give you some ground rules, ladies and gentlemen. I have been walking around on the Lord's earth for 56 years. I don't look it, but I have. So I picked up a couple things, and I've learned some of the greatest things I have achieved, and some of the greatest empowerments I have achieved because the quality of people who I allowed to associate in my life. I could talk to anyone, but I don't fellowship with everyone. Like my mother, I never meet a stranger. Talking to people, me, is easy. You know, I build camaraderie. I talk about your interests, talk about your family, talk about, things that you are interested in. When I sit around and I build my Bitcoin business, I talk about your goals. You don't care about what my goals are. You care about what you want. So I talk in interest of what you want. And then I've had people who I've actually have got quite fond of, dealing with business, and we're having a good camaraderie. But I'm an old school guy. I don't put that label on you, friend. Just I don't meet you just 24 hours and a week and spend time with you and elevate you to a friend. I used to before I understood the difference. I don't do that anymore. No, I don't do that anymore, and nor should you. Friendship has to be proven, ladies and gentlemen. Friendship has to be proven. Friendship has to be consistent. That's the word I want to use. It has to be consistent. They have to show you, they have to really show you that they value you. And what's your payment back? You value them. This is what this gentleman reminded me of today. 40 years we have not laid eyes on each other. When he pulled up in his vehicle, I met him. I was there before he was. When he pulled up in his vehicle, I instantly recognized him. He had the same spirit. I had the same spirit. We picked up as if we never left. You have someone like that in your life? Now, it's not that you just see them like that, but they have to reciprocate that to you. 40 years, we haven't seen each other. I mean, I mean, that touched me so profound because, I don't hear that very much. I don't hear that very much, and so I cherish my friends. I don't insult my friends by assigning a color to their skin. I don't assault my friends by deciding a particular faith that they have. I don't insult my friends because they have maybe a different political view than me. I don't insult my friends by, or should I say, judging them because, you know what? Maybe they've been divorced. Maybe they chose a different career path than I do. I don't attach those labels to my friends. My friends are my friends. My friends are my friends. And your friends ought to be your friends. My friends make me better. And I'm a huge component of the man I am is because of the relationship that I've had. All the component of the man I am is because of the relationship I have. Sometimes friends have given me good advice, but I was too stubborn to take it. Sometimes I given them good advice, but they was too stubborn to take it. We don't know where people are right now. We don't know we don't know what's going on with where people right now. We do know that like 2020 has been a tough year, and we do know that you can't really find a friend on social media. You're saying like, yeah, people could have 3,000 friends and not a one be their friend. You got to spend time with them. You got to talk. You got to share. You got to trust. You got to hold them accountable. They have to hold you accountable. They have to be a cheerleader for you, just like you're a cheerleader for you. They can't quit on you. You can't quit on them, and they dang sure won't let you quit on yourself. So it's just sharing a little bit of things about what a power of a friend means, and power of a thing, the power of a friend, and a friend defined. Okay, now remember that you have a friend. There's a difference and there are different calibers of friends. One of them I call a true friend, what Kenny is elevated to it. And other ones you call friends. I'm fortunate I have a couple of true friends. Okay. The next one is called an associate. Associates can look like a friend. Associates can look like a friend. They necessarily might not betrayed your trust. No, they may not necessarily trade your trust and things like that. They know that was the issue. It's just it's just like they maybe they hit 3 out of the 5 benchmarks that you need. That's not good enough. True friend has to hit all 5. Trust. Trust, which denote confidence. Helping you become a better individual. Holding you accountable. Won't let you quit on yourself, and just as invested in the things that move you as you are. Sometimes even more so. So we have the associates, maybe they hit a few, but they're not all things. Now, associates can be good men and women. They can be great to you. You can have some camaraderie, but with associate, the difference between an associate and a true friend, that with the associate, you hold back just a little bit. Maybe they got 80% of you, but they don't have the whole 100. Maybe it runs through your mind, let me see how I'm going to say that. Anytime you got to say those words to yourself, you're not dealing with a friend. Because a friend, you can be as you are. Never forget that. Associate, you got to run through. You got to play chess in your mind. And I play chess. And you have to think. You have to think of a move. What's going to happen if I move here? If I move wrong, according to these, I can see 3 steps down the road. This is going to devastate me. But it'll put my king in jeopardy. So I can't make that move. So you have to think when you get ready to talk to the associate, if I tell them this, will they? It's a little hint of doubt. Okay. And so yeah, almost, but no, there's something I have to hold back. And then the other tier under associate is an acquaintance. Man, I could talk about that a while. Acquaintance. You 50% comfortable with them one day, 100% uncomfortable with him another day. Acquaintance. They're like a tool in your box. You pull them out for, hey man, let me run this up. You speak to, thank you, God. You speak to associate. You speak to acquaintance in generalities. For example, you know what? I got this friend, and he or she is in this situation, and man, you know what? I don't really know what, dude, what, man, am I crazy? How would you look at that? See, you're not giving out, you're not giving out details. You're giving out generalities. Now, those type of people can actually give you good counsel, but you don't really fully trust them. You don't really fully trust the associates. But a friend, you'll trust them with your life. You'll trust them around your family. You individual, you can you'll trust them. You have vetted them out enough that, hey man, if something happens to me, here's my crypto wallet. This is what's in it. Make sure you get this to my family, and you don't worry about anything that they won't do what you said. That's trust. And trust is only given by a friend. And only a friend should you give your trust to. Okay. And so we appreciate you guys to taking time for this like that. My goal is to inspire you. My goal is to get you thinking. My goal is just simply to use some of the experience that I acquired over years in life, and what I've been taught by great men and women, and what I've been through with my failures and my successes. And maybe if I could shorten the learning curve, or maybe I could say something to encourage you guys, it'd be worth it for us to me. Use I'm on here talking about my business. As far as what I do, you'd like to learn more about that. Just go ahead and click on the link in the description box, therealmoney.info. I deal with cryptocurrency and getting paid in Bitcoin. If you'd like to learn more, go ahead and click on the link and send me an email once you register your free account, and I promise to get back to you. But right now, I want you to take very, very good evaluation of the people who are true friends of your life and let them know. Let them know how much that friendship means. Let them know how much you value it. Let them know how much you have helped them. Don't assume that they automatically are going to know. You got to open your mouth. People need encouragement. No, people are fighting wars that you don't know of. Do you actually know sometimes a friend can think they're actually bothering you? Or maybe they said something to you about the same subject one time too many and they're afraid to talk, but they haven't really got free. You know how many heart attacks are caused by people holding stuff in? You know how many mental breakdowns that are caused by people just holding everything in? You know how many people wish they could have someone to talk to? If God has placed someone like that in your life, you let them know how much that means to you. You let them know how extraordinary valuable they are to you. You know what? And you always keep that door of connection and that door of acceptance open. Now acceptance, let me clarify that. If they're wrong, you let them know. Hey man, you're flat out wrong for this, or you're flat out wrong for what you're doing here. Man, we can't have that. But don't threaten to withdraw your friendship. Lead them back. Lead them back on a positive path. Lead them back in, where the light comes back in their eyes and the smile on their face. I could tell exactly where an individual is. I could tell exactly, if I'm connected with an individual, or if I could tell by primarily by looking in the person's eyes. You know what I look for, ladies and gentlemen? I look for light. I look for the dancing of the eyes. Because if people are really excited about where they're going, or they really have connected and they really see their purpose, it's going to show in their eyes. It's just going to be lit. It's going to show in the countenance of their face. It's going to be like a glow. Subsequently, if people are not connecting and people think their lives are dwindling, they think they haven't really caused anything yet there's going to be a dimming of that light. And unfortunately, sometimes there can be an extinction of it. Your job as a friend is to always keep that light burning in your friend. Your job is to make sure that light never goes out of their eyes. Your job is to give encouragement. Your job is to give loving correction. Your job is to give support. Your job is not necessarily to solve everything. Now, this is a very important one before I get ready to go. Sometimes your friend doesn't need you to solve everything. They really don't. The main thing your friend needs for you to do is to listen without interruption, without interjecting unwanted or unmerited comments. They just need you to listen. People need to be heard. I've been in business. I have been in sales for darn near since I graduated out of college in 1988, since I got my bachelor's degree at 23 years old from University of Alabama, and I've learned things over the years. You have to listen to people. People want to be heard. Sometimes you cannot say anything, as far as to people, and you just let them talk, or let them unburden themselves, or let them get their viewpoints out. And you know what? They'll actually make a comment to you. You'll hear it at times. Man, you really, really listen to me. Thank you for listening to me. You didn't say nothing. You didn't say hardly anything, or you just say, tell me a little bit more about that. But you let them talk without condemnation, without reservation. You let them be themselves. And you have to understand that. But if you're a friend and you have a true friend, he or she automatically knows that. They live that. They operate in that. So, ladies and gentlemen, be a friend. Keep your friends very close. Let your friends know you love, appreciate them. Call your friends. Say, hey, man, you all right? Anything I do? Man, let's go out. Let's get a bite to eat. Let's just go talk. Let's go take a drive. No, let's go on a boat. Let's go skiing. No, let's go ahead and get out, man. Let's just talk. Man, what do you want to talk about, man? Not really anything, really, dude. I just want to spend time with my friend. I just want to spend time with my friend, You all right, Fitzgerald? Yeah, I'll be when I get around you, brother, because you always make me feel good. And I just want to give a little bit back to you. Because man, we're getting older, you know, and time is not necessarily promised to us. God gives that to us as a gift every day, you know, and you have to understand that. And so you want to spend that inspiring people. You know, there are millionaires, even billionaires in this world. They don't have any friends. I've heard a sad statistic about a lot of people, about some people in the ministries, so many pastors and teachers and things. They get burned out in the ministry. You know, one of the main things, they don't feel like they have a friend. They have to be a friend, you know, to everybody else or counsel everyone else, but who counsels them? I saw a comic strip. I saw a comic book strip by Charles Soaps of the Peanuts. You know, Snoopy and Charlie Brown and Linus and Lucy and all those guys. And Snoopy used to have this psychiatrist service that he was operating with. And you know, he would charge a nickel. And he had his office was his doghouse. You know, and he had this long line. And it had this long line. And then you know, he was at the end of the comic strip. You know, he was laying on his back on top of his doghouse, and he said these words: "Who encourages the encourager?" I probably saw that. I probably saw that thing about over 25 years ago, and I never forgot it. Who encourages the encourager? Don't think your friend is all right. Don't think they're straight. Reach out and call them. Reach out and talk to them. You know, I mean, just connect. Keep the connection alive. They'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it. They'll get blessed. You'll get blessed. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button. My goal is to achieve a 1,000 subscribers hopefully by the end of the year. So about 817. And so I'm asking for your help. And please take time, you know, to let people, you know, who are your friends, that you appreciate them. You appreciate the friendship, and protect the friendship. God bless you all. Have an extraordinary good weekend, and welcome again. And thank you for tuning in to Find Ways to Win with Fitzgerald Stephens.